and sort of finding your own personal bar. So a personal bar for this lesson could be maybe take one thing I say from this whole thing and try to apply it to your golf game. See what you think you can do with it. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about how angles of of loft between clubs and sort of angles at which you launch projectiles affect how far they go. So this is a 9 iron. This is about almost 90, 45 degrees loft. And this is a driver. Even says on the top, if you can see it, 10.5 degrees of loft. And what that means is it's sort of the angle it's up at. It's up at when it's touching the ground. So you can think of the arm, my arm as the ground, and this would be sort of zero, almost like 0 degrees, right? This would be about 45. This would be 90. So sort of one little quarter of it. That's a whole 90 degrees, starting from zero, sort of flat, 45 degrees going that way, 90 degrees that way. So maybe the 45 degrees on this means when you hit it, the golf ball, that's that 45 degrees angle. That's the angle it's going to go up, more or less. Now it's not going to be perfect, but that's about it. Also, sort of with the driver, if you were to hit it sort of straight on, okay, it's sort of we're not going to do it today, but I could if you guys leave comments or however you do it, sort of deriving what is sort of the best angle to get the projectile the furthest. So I'll see. I'll try to let you go. So what I mean by that, let's say I just were to put in the launcher and on ground level, let's say, if I just shot it straight out like that, okay, would that go for? Or what about 90 degrees? Would that go for at all? It would just go up, right? So it probably can't be that. So it has to be something greater than zero, and and less than 90 degrees. Okay, so somewhere in between. You can even think, but what if it's half? Launch it, and they're all launching it at the same amount of force in that direction. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'll let you guys think about it, and I'll give the answer to you. Um, let's also talk about maybe you guys know. So a nine iron. When I'm getting ready to hit, let's say off the tee box, that's right, but I'm just gonna face this way. Where do I want the club in my stance? Do I want it like way back behind my feet, or do I want it in front, or where do I want it? And I think probably with the nine, it's somewhere in the middle, right? But that's a little different when it comes to the driver. The driver, it's not in the middle. It's a little bit to your front foot, the side where the ball you want it to go. It's going to be pushed a little that way. Now you might ask why. Okay, that's where the loft comes in because it has such a shallow loft, and then what you find is when you derive the mathematics, the equation for like you can get an equation of range, just depending on the angle. That's all you need, and which will go farthest. And it turns out 45 degrees is the angle you want for it to go the furthest. Now that's why you have the ball so much further up in your stance. It's because when you swing, it's not hitting it dead on where it would be exactly 10.5 degrees. It's where, let me bring it up close to you. So if you were to hit it head on, it's pushing it, a little that way. But if it's in front of your stance, the club has to go a little further. It's probably going to be closer to 45 degrees. And that sort of just explains why stance for all clubs, because they're all sort of around that 45-degree angle. You like a 60 wedge, you have it a little bit in the back, because then it'll shorten up and become 45 degrees if you want. And also depends on what kind of shot you're hitting. But sort of for further shots, usually you would take with iron or a driver. That's what you would do, and that's why it's not the whole truth. It's an approximation because there's a lot of things that go into what kind of shot you want and what kind of stance do you need, what kind of club do you need, all that sort of stuff. And I'm just explaining how the angle goes into it. So back to what we were trying to tie it into, sort of goal setting. How can you use that information to goal setting? Or could a part of setting goals is just sort of anything about it. And just want you guys to think about that. Hope you had fun. Bye.